Hey, everybody. Welcome to our final E3 2016 post-show. I'm Alex O'Neill, your host. As per usual, we are going to be talking about Sony's 2016 press conference. Tony Horvath is with me.
Of course.
Right here. Brian Nobishin Jackson is here.
Squirrel!
Gregory Blaney is joining us once more.
Ooga booga.
And yeah, that's actually appropriate. And special guest Brant Range is here.
Hey, folks.
My friend, your friend, our friend.
He's not my friend.
Wow, man.
He ain't no friend of mine.
It's true. Brand has never met Tony or Scott, even though he's been to my house multiple times.
I mean, you could have let me know.
I could. He's going to be here this weekend.
I'll be here.
Okay.
It's one way to fix that problem.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Sony's press conference. Brand has graced us with this presence.
I can't wait to talk about it.
And yeah, you. I guess this is the only press conference you watched, correct?
Yeah, because I don't own a whole bunch of, the game I play most frequently is Downwell on my commute to and from work. The PS4 is the only, console that I'm playing, like, real quote-unquote games on. So I was stoked about it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. Did anybody write down notes?
Nope. You and I were just like...
I was, like, too tired to even think about it.
We were just like, we were on the couch together.
I'll be real
watching
with you, did not
events
have enough time
unfold.
to tweet most of the time. It was like information and just...
Yeah, I was
stuff
like too
happening.
busy. Like I was worried I was going to miss something, but I did tweet a lot because I can't stop myself.
There was a certain point that I tweeted.
It's great because so I was laying on the couch and then there's the empty seat between Tony and myself, and then Tony's laying on the couch and then Gus hops up for the first time all day. He hasn't done this at all.
Right? It
Hops
was
up
cute.
and lounges, spreads out across the entire middle cushion between Tony and I, and just like lays there for almost the whole press conference.
Yep, I got all like scratchy and allergic because cats. But
Yeah. At least you're not dead.
at least I'm not dead.
You could have beaten him away.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
You were having fun.
He was getting his belly rubbed. He was very happy. He was a happy kitty. I don't know where he went, but I'm sure he'll hop up on the table or something later. Okay, then I guess like let's just go around the table. That's what we've been doing, Brant, to catch you up. Just kind of getting like, hey, what did you think, without getting into anything specific, of the press conference as a whole? So why don't you kick things off, Brant?
Sure. I was super impressed that it was all about the games. It wasn't like one game trailer and then somebody comes up and then pontificates for 5 minutes about what it is to game and the gamers and how we used to game or how somebody used to game and it made them think of this current game. It was just like trailer after trailer after trailer.
It was kind of more like
trailer.
5 trailers and then somebody pontificates for about a minute and 30 seconds. And then they have to say the release date for PlayStation VR at some point, and then 5 more trailers or gameplay demos or whatever.
Right. The people were more like a long yo-yo as opposed to like having it broke up. I mean, the conference was a video game conference about video games, and they did it really well. I was super impressed with that.
Yeah. They just like we were saying a little bit before we started. Man, they just kept going though. They didn't stop. Like they didn't give anything room to breathe. It was just like, no, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, it was one thing right into the next.
We're gonna do a dubstep trailer with Final Fantasy 15, and you're not even gonna have time to process that it's dubstep, except for your wibbly wobblies.
Yeah.
Nobishin, what did you think?
It's weird. Like, this is definitely one of Sony's better conferences, like pacing wise, that they've ever had before. Like,
Yeah, it was the same tempo throughout the whole show.
yeah, it's very similar to Microsoft. It's like on and on and on and on and on. Like Microsoft had like time to talk about like their network and stuff, but like Sony never talks about the network, so you shouldn't expect that. But like it was this game, and like and for what it was pretty great for what it was. I have some issues myself with it, but like I'll get into that later. But like other than that, like it was solid. It's all around.
Yeah, I think there's like some specific stuff, but like yeah, it was easy to consume, and I'm like generally really happy with it. Mostly because like kind of like we said with Microsoft, it was like we never slowed down or sped up. It just kind of kept going at the same pace. Jacob Bryant is calling me right now. He's at the PlayStation press conference. Should I answer this?
Yeah,
Yes.
go for it.
All right, we're gonna put him on speaker. Hi, Jacob. Jacob Bryant, you are on our E3 post show. This is Alex. How are you doing?
Oh, God.
Hi, Jacob.
Oh, hey. What an awkward time to call.
Hey, so you just left the Sony press conference, correct?
I did. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. How was it in the room with the orchestra?
It was awesome. It was badass. Did they show the whole, like, they played for, like, almost 10 minutes before they even started the God of War demo. Did they show any of that?
No, they didn't.
They played for a good.
No, they played for a good like 6 minutes.
Oh,
on
they
screen.
played for like a little bit.
They
I
showed
don't
the
know.
new God of War soundtrack.
I mean, it just felt like a fucking long time since I wanted to start, but
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
There was no time to catch my breath. They
Yeah.
just fucking went off.
I hope you brought your inhaler.
I did. I don't even need one. I have. They were giving them out.
Cool. What did you need something, Jacob? I don't know.
No, I was just gonna talk to you, but this is the worst time for me to call. I apologize. I'm gonna hang up now.
It's okay. Well, we got the live take from Variety.com. Variety's Jacob Bryant.
All right. Well, I'm gonna listen when I get home. So, bye.
Bye. We love you.
Nebraska.
That's Jacob Bryant for you. Variety.com. Go check out his Fear the Walking Dead recap.
There you go.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Nobishin. Thoughts?
Yeah, I've said everything.
Okay. Yeah,
You were in the middle of something that you got into.
yeah. For me, like the reason I really liked it, and I think it really worked, was like there's weird stuff. Like they show Days Gone, right? That's what it's called. I'm not crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they show a trailer for it. I'm like, okay, this looks cool. No release date. Come back to it at the end of the conference to show a gameplay demo. Still no release. They
Right.
just ended. There's no release date. Still, it's like not even a window or an idea. It's like, okay, I guess
It's coming.
That game's never coming out.
It's the Last Guardian all over again.
Yeah, it's the Last Guardian all over again. So like, there's like very weird nitpicky stuff like that. Of like that's odd choice, but outside of that, yeah, it was just like evenly paced. It kept the same pace as opposed to Sony, which tends to have like, okay, this is going on a little too long. Can we just speed it up? And then it gets to like a really, really long, slow part. And you're like, okay, come on. Wonder Book isn't that interesting. And then you get back into like an even pace. Whereas like, yeah, like pacing has always been Sony's like trouble before, where they'll spend too much time talking about one thing or just like it's uneven. But no, this was smooth. It was a smooth ride. It was a lot of fun the whole time. A lot of inhaler, gasping for breath. What did you think, Tony?
I thought it was a really good show.
Yeah.
They started with the cool orchestra thing, straight into like 4 trailers, like back to back.
A long gameplay demo and then like a bunch of trailers.
Yeah. Really nice start to everything. Though I thought the orchestra was awesome.
Very Nintendo type of opening.
Yeah, definitely. The games themselves, I think that they did a great job. They addressed the stuff that they talked about last year very quickly, and then spent more time on the things that were newer. So all in all, I thought it was a really good conference.
Yeah. And Trevor Starkey, who's watching live right now, tweeted me, says, still seems like it checks the box of Broken Dreams, though, since we won't be playing most of that lineup for a while, right? And I think we'll definitely touch on that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm gonna loop back around to that. It seemed like less Broken Dreams than I was worried about, but definitely some of that.
Fewer broken dreams.
Yeah,
Alex. Let's
fewer far-flung
grammatical.
dreams. Excuse me, Brant. I don't write for some big website like some of us do, so I can't. I just write for some small no-name website that nobody knows. But I'm sorry, Brent. I just like attacked you, and I feel bad.
It's a throwback to our beginning of our friendship. Keep going.
It's true, but yeah, like fewer far-flung. This clearly isn't coming out for a while. It seems kind of more realistic, like dropping a hot Resident Evil 7 announcement. It's like, oh, that's coming out in January. Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's big. So, Greg,
Yeah, what
run
up?
us out. General thoughts. How'd you feel coming out of this?
I think it started off strong, and then kind of petered out a little bit actually at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think that they. I think personally for me, they didn't show games that I really wanted to play.
Okay.
There's a lot of games that everybody else wants to play. A lot of those.
Yeah.
Last Guardians, Kojima, whatever that one other game is, but there was some
Days Gone?
surprises. Yeah, Days Gone. And then there was some surprises in there, like Spider-Man and, I mean, God of War. I've never played a God of War game. That was the first God of War game I was like, I'm on board with this.
Yeah, it seems like they're priming this as like, oh, you've never played God of War? Cool. Don't worry about it. Just play this one.
Yeah, because fuck all the other ones.
Hey, I mean, Nabashin likes the
I
other
mean,
ones.
Yeah, I think they're good.
Not being like, fuck that, being like, they're bad, just being like,
But, like, don't worry about them.
yeah.
Just jump in on this one. And they're calling it God of War, so...
Yeah. Except they've got that Norse lettering around it.
Ooh, yeah, very fancy. And the Greek Omega symbol in there as well. Let's go right into God of War.
Yeah.
So they kind of started with the orchestra playing some God of War music, which, I was like, this sounds like The Last Guardian, because I just know it has orchestrated music, and for some reason, that was the first thing that popped in my head.
Sure.
Last Guardian was second, to be fair. Okay.
At least they gave it a release date.
Yeah, or it was third. I think it was after Days Gone. So they went right into a lengthy God of War demo, and it was cool how it's like, hey, this kind of looks not like God of War. There's a kid, there's a boy, and then you just fucking see Kratos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
that
a
was-
big ass beard.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah.
He looked like a badass.
What did you think of that reveal, Nabashin? I'm curious.
I knew it was God of War from the beginning. Like, it just, the music and everything, it was like, just show Kratos. I know this was coming out right now, so it wasn't that much of a surprise.
Yeah, but seeing him again, and seeing that he's like clearly aged, we don't necessarily know if this is going to be a continuation of the previous God of War games or just.
That's kind of my question. Like, I don't know if that is, because like the way God of War 3 left off, and like I could see it happening, sure, but like it's just a weird thing. Like, I guess he found another woman and got a son, and I was like, I don't know. He just seems so tortured to do something like that again, and too angry. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean there are allusions to the original God of Wars. Obviously, he has the ash in his skin and the tattoo. Which
I don't. I'm trying to think, like, lore wise, like how that could like wrap around, like to do that again. Like I could see it happening. It's just like it's like, I don't know. Like, maybe I wanted so much more of like, just it happens to be another guy who just this happens to be named Kratos. So that happens to look exactly.
Yeah,
the same.
like kind of like an anthology-esque. Like I totally understand. But
maybe I just wanted that a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, like they were very much setting up their new story as opposed to referencing back the old story. But again, they had the moment where he uses Spartan Rage or whatever, Spartan Power. So like him having a Spartan ability would indicate that he's still from Greece and has that heritage. So it's interesting. That's cool. And like Sean Pitts actually tweeted out, like, Kratos is a notoriously terrible character. So like seeing them actually trying to characterize him as something that's more than a two-dimensional angry dude is actually kind of exciting. Like, he's got something he cares about. He fluctuates between being frustrated and upset with like trying to raise his son. A lot of fans of dads on the Twitter sphere.
Who doesn't like
Hashtag
Trevor
daddy.
Yeah,
Did Trevor say anything?
I don't know if Trevor said anything dad
Like,
specific.
this speaks to me.
Like, this is clearly my genre. I appeal to the dad audience. I don't know. It was cool. It was like more behind the back. It was slower. It kind of was reminiscent pacing wise to Dark Souls. Do you have any relationship with God of War, Brant? I don't know.
Yeah. It's Kratos is actually my father, so it's very weird that you brought this up.
It's a game about you.
Right, exactly. It was weird seeing my childhood be portrayed like that, but it's fair.
Yeah.
No, I played the first two games. I couldn't make it through the third one because there was just so much yelling. Just so much like anger.
There's a lot of yelling.
There's
in that
just
game.
so much anger, and like I get it. You're the God of War. You're not going to be like super happy all the time, but my goodness. So I actually when the trailer started, I was like, ugh. And then there was like 2 minutes of him not yelling. I'm like, oh man, Kratos is kind of cool when he's not just like Athena. When he's not just like that. It was almost like, and I like the new camera perspective too. It looked like it was going to be different than. Just in terms of gameplay, different than previous games in the whatchamacallit, in the franchise, and I'm excited to play the God of War again. Didn't think I'd ever say those words again. But,
yeah, that's the same feeling for me of like, wow, they're really, really doing something different. And I didn't expect that. Like, they said that, we're doing Norse mythology or whatever, and someone yells Valhalla, and there are Norse mythological creatures in the demo. So, like, clearly, yes, they are doing that, but seeing it actually, like, come to life and saying, like, oh, like, they're not just doing Norse mythology, Jesus, say that 5 times fast, in a new setting, but like they're actually changing how the game plays and feels and the pacing of it as well. So, go ahead, Nobishin.
So who did the beard better, Marcus Phoenix or Kratos?
Ooh. Kratos had a really good beard.
Kratos had like a little bit of
agree.
the salt and pepper, where Marcus Phoenix had the full gray
Kratos
beard.
got a beards.
So I'm a big fan of salt and pepper.
I'm down with that, Tony. I could pray to that guy.
Also, I like that Kratos was like perfectly bald, but just like as soon as you hit like just halfway down the ear, it's just fucking beard.
Yeah.
Like, burns down to the beard. And I'm like, God damn. So yeah, that I think Kratos wore it better.
I've never played a God of War game, and I've known that they're like hack and slash games. This doesn't look like a hack and slash game, and I think that's what I like about it. It looks more like a tactical fighter.
I mean, it looks more like a slower-paced, animation-based action game, like a Dark Souls
Or
Yeah,
Ninja Theory.
or a Ninja Theory
Yeah.
game. Yeah,
I can see that. But I like the art style that they're going with, and I like the
it's
content.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Gorgeous-looking game.
the content that they're going to be putting out sounds really cool. Dragons and giant monsters and all that sounds really neat. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always down.
And Valhalla.
Quick side note: these Norman Reedus memes are fucking upsetting me now.
They're fucking awesome. What are you talking about?
I just saw this one with like Norman Reedus' sword, and he's holding like a little baby Riku. Not Riku, but
Yeah,
Roxas.
now we're crossing the line. Nabishin, do you want to check your Google Hangout microphone?
That's not.
Make sure it's all coming through the right mic. There you go. See, well, they call that the auditory ear. Brand knows it. He can defend me.
I'll defend you to my grave, Alex.
Thank you. Yeah, I like honestly. Nabishin, you're the biggest God of War fan out of all of us. So I'm more curious to see like what your reaction to the gameplay changes and everything is. Is this something you're excited about, or is it too different, or is it like what do you think?
I will let you know after I switch my mic.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Tony, did you ever play God of War?
Yeah, I played, I think, all of them from when I was little. I actually, on my keys, have an Omega thing that was sent to me in the mail as a promo for a God of War game.
Fuck yeah.
Back when I was
Nerd.
like 10 years old. And I've had it ever since.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. We can talk about the next thing real quick, which was the Days Gone gameplay trailer, which is Sony Ben's game. Sony Ben has been working on this for, I guess, like a decade. It seems like they've been talking
Yeah, I
about
was
it.
gonna ask, why is everybody so excited for this? I don't know.
Because like Sony Ben has been working on something that like the big head honchos at Sony have been talking about, like alluding to, is like, oh yeah, I played Ben's game. It's very exciting. We're very excited about it. Can't wait to show you more. And they've been saying that for years, and they've been saying it's PS4 and that's big and it's going to blow you away for years. So people have just been waiting and waiting. It was under the a leaked code name Dead Don't Ride for a long time. And yeah, just a lot of people just saying like, what is this game and why are people so excited about it? What's it doing? So, it seems to be like a more emotional apocalyptic game, zombie apocalypse, setting that's
So The
tried
Last
and,
of Us 2, gotcha.
yeah, right. Setting that's tried and true, but can be done well. That was kind of like when Tony and I were watching. That was kind of my takeaway from it. What did you? I know, Greg, you said you weren't very interested in it. Brant, what did you think of Days Gone?
I think it's definitely influenced by, I don't know, when was development started on it? Like how far back does this go?
I don't know. Years, at least 4 years.
Because it seems like it was informed tonally by The Last of Us to some degree. That's absolutely the vibe that I got. You have the flashbacks to what life was like before this crazy apocalypse. Then there's the apocalypse. and then there's dealing with the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And
I think
killing everything that was a part of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
right, exactly. Yeah, as one does. I thought that it was like I'm kind of done with the zombie thing. I know I saw that reaction from a lot of people on Twitter. Like I think that it's just become kind of a trope. But it was impressive to see that many enemies on screen at once chasing after you. Like that is kind of like
that's super
a
cool.
cool thing.
Yeah, especially like the way that they moved. Again, I sent a tweet out about this. Very reminiscent of World War Z. Again, like the horde moves together. It's all and like they're slowing each other down because there's just so many of them like knocking up against one another. And seeing that animated so well was actually really really cool. And obviously, like they went down very quickly, but there were so many of them.
Right. Actually, I like that a lot. I was going to mention that. It's my last thing. Is that it looks like it only takes like a bullet or two to kill these whatever creatures, and that's
Zambos,
nice,
for lack of a better term.
Yeah, exactly.
Zeds.
Zeds. And that's good. It's not like you're pumping 5,000 bullets into one creature. It's like no, these are actual things. You shoot them twice. Damn if they're not dead.
Yeah. And it's hard. It was a very like set piecey feeling demo. Like, hey, we're going to show you this cool set piece of you running through this mill with the horde chasing you. So like the only kind of gameplay hint we got out of the fact that it's a third-person shooter is he pulled out something he used as a silencer from an engine, which is that was a cool thing. Obviously there will be scavenge mechanics. It's a zombie game, so it can't not. But outside of that, we don't really know how that game's going to play or what kind of game it is and what the focus of the story is. So, Nabashin, y'all set up? Good. You want to talk about God of War real quick, and then we'll bounce back to Days Gone?
Like I'm just really interested in it. As far as, I mean, like combat-wise, it looks okay. Like I don't know, like it's weird. It's different. Like I still need to process that. Like everything I saw, like it looks good. There's nothing wrong with what I saw. It's just a matter of like just like, oh wow, this is different. And like it's so different that like I don't know if I'm for it or against it yet. Like story wise, 100%. That looks really great and look really fleshed out compared to like pretty much anything that God of War has done in ever. But like gameplay wise, I'm not quite sure just yet. But we shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. It's a huge change. Like there's experience. You were giving experience to your son, which I thought was cool. A lot of fatherhood -10 jokes.
Yeah.
It's gonna pull like a Red Dead Redemption at the end or something.
That would be interesting. I would like
Just
to see
an
that.
angry small child.
Having the ending of Red Dead Redemption taken away from me. I'd like to be able to experience it myself. Also, Trevor did respond saying, "Oh yes, Daddy Kratos in God of War clearly speaks to Daddy Trevor." #DaddyLife.
That is one thing that never got shown. Anything related to Rockstar and Red Dead.
Yeah, I mean, but they're
They've
never
rumored.
they're never at E3. So
Well, sometimes they are.
they were
GTA.
one time when they announced the Grand Theft Auto 5 remastered. That's the only time they've been here recently.
Okay.
Which is like more of a minor announcement for them, honestly.
True. I guess if
Um,
Red Dead is a big thing.
yeah, people were hoping Red Dead would get announced. Christian Fuente asks or says same here as far as like never playing a God of War game, but he's interested in this one. Yeah, let's keep going down the list. We talked about Days Gone. I don't know if you had any opinions about that, Nabashin.
I got disappointed when Zombie showed up.
Yeah, I was too, to be honest with you.
Because like straight up, like that first trailer, I was like, oh yeah, I'm 100% in. Because I thought it was like weirdly enough, I thought it was Ride to Hell, but like in a very good way. But like, I didn't think it was Ride to Hell, but I thought it was like the aspect of Ride to Hell. Like,
I'm sorry. Anytime somebody says Ride to Hell, I have to laugh.
yeah, I thought it was like the aspect of Ride to Hell, like it's like a biker game that you just like you're on a bike, you have a girlfriend, and like you're a bounty hunter. I thought, oh, that's a good concept. That's good and original. I haven't seen any game like that, and then it was like, oh, zombies, never mind. So it was just like, that's a little upsetting. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, it is weird to see like another first-party Sony game lean on that trope. It looks very different than The Last of Us, but
A lot of people like The Last of Us.
yeah, a lot of people like The Last of Us.
Loved
Guess
it.
what? That game was good and sold really well. So of course,
Might as well make
Three
it.
more of those.
it makes sense to kind of explore those same themes and concepts. They showed The Last Guardian, which showed off just another trailer showing multiple cat guardian monster creatures. Meow
That's
meows? Are they meow meows? I believe that's the term.
Was that the actual technical term for them?
That's the technical name.
It's the scientific name for them?
that I just came up with right
Meow
now.
meow?
Meow meow.
I'm cool with it.
And it's coming out October 26th. Is that right?
Yes.
That sounds somewhere in the ballpark. Yeah.
Yes.
Since most games are coming out October in this year.
Yeah, a lot of games
Yeah,
are coming out this year.
October 20th through 30th. I'm gonna be real sick.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna be coughing a lot.
And and then Valentine's Day through the next month after that. I think I died.
Yeah. October 25th. Stop playing an advertisement. Sorry, my Chrome is freaking out.
Get that
And
out
Tony
of
can hear that too.
Yeah, so I just get real confused.
Yeah, October 25th, which is good. Yeah, I expected it to be a little bit sooner, but that's whatever. Who cares?
Listen, after 10 years, who gives a shit if you have to wait like another 2 weeks?
Yeah. No, I like I said, who cares? It's fine. It's good to know that game has a date. They showed that trailer and then they just didn't bring it up ever again.
They're like, we're not going to jinx it.
Yeah, right. They showed a Final Fantasy 15 trailer, which, man, fucking Square Enix just milking it left and right.
Yeah, they're dipping their hands into everything.
They're like, Microsoft paid us money to be on their stage, and Sony paid us money to be on their stage. So
Yeah, they're too busy with.
I mean, I'll put a PSVR on one of my characters, whatever.
yeah, we'll put a PSVR on a Prompto.
No big deal.
I'm sure he'll look super cute in it.
Yeah.
That Final Fantasy 15 VR experience, or whatever, didn't look good, but it was like the right kind of stupid bullshit that I can get behind.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm jumping around and shooting this weird, awkward-looking hand pistol. So, whatever.
I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with it.
This Final Fantasy for fangirls.
Yeah, Final Fantasy for fangirls. Hey, man, I'm fangirling over that game.
Yeah.
The Broad Trip. Fucking so into it. Brant knows what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
Brant wants it. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's good. That's all I can say.
A lot of people coming off of today's press conference saying like, "Man, that game looks bad all of a sudden," and I'm like, I don't think it looks any different. I think it's just it didn't show well today.
I'm glad that it's not turn-based anymore. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, when the day comes when Final Fantasy 16 comes out 24 years from now, if that'll go back to being turn-based or active time battle. They showed a new Horizon Zero Dawn demo, which was fantastic.
It looked great.
Yeah, that was one of the more impressive demos in a series of very impressive demos. That game just looks fun.
Yeah. So it definitely looks like a world that you'd want to explore.
Yeah. They're showing some dialogue trees, very Mass Effect-y in that regard. Lots of different weapon types and
Lots of different arrow types for your bow.
scanning enemies for weaknesses, hacking
Yep.
robot animals
To ride them.
All things that I like in video games.
Yeah. It's like Watch Dogs plus Skyrim.
Obviously, like the first demo they showed off, they were taking down like one of the bigger T-Rex enemies, kind of shooting a rocket launcher off its back and then using it against it. This was a smaller enemy, but it was still a challenge to take down, and there was still like a process to it. Still looked really fun to kind of pick it apart, both figuratively and literally, and kind of figure out its weaknesses and scanning it and doing all that. Also, like when it crashed through like a building and it like just crumbled, I'm like, wow, this just looks awesome. That game just. Whew. And like Nabishin, you pointed out on Twitter, like Rise of the Tomb Raider vibes for days out of that game, and that is 100% a good thing.
Yeah, any game that has a strong female protagonist, I'm probably gonna play it. It looked badass.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. I don't know like where you're at with that game, Greg.
Eh.
Yeah.
At first it was like, oh, this looks cool. There's robots and T-Rexes and shit, and you fight them. And then this demo was just kind of like, but literally the character tells you the weakness of everything that's going on. It's
Yeah,
like,
I'm curious
he's
how that
weak to
works.
fire. Like, why? Why would you even tell me that? Like, I would learn.
Well, it
to
looked like
figure that out.
they had just scanned the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how that works. If there's like some kind of currency, whether it's like a stamina bar or something like that you have to use in order to find out an enemy's weakness, or you have to get closer, you have to do something to it.
It just seemed, that seemed really like forced and awkward. It was like, oh, just
I don't
use
think
fire
so.
attacks. It's like, but
I mean, like it's a video game, right? It's I try and take this down using what it's weak against. I like that it reacted to fire differently, and then you were like laying down the traps and luring them
Yeah,
into
that
it
was
and blowing
awesome.
them up.
The trap thing was cool. I like the idea of needing multiple traps instead of just being like, "Hey, do this," and then it stops them. It's like, oh no, you actually have to like put him in a certain order in order to keep him down.
Yeah, I like it. It was cool, like the trap thing again, the ropes to hold it down. Something we had seen on the previous enemy, seen it used differently on a different enemy, and then like opening up the main tank or whatever was powering it and then destroying it. God, it's just
cool.
It was cool.
It was cool.
It was a cool demo. That game I think just demos really well inherently, and they showed a little bit
more of the world of it.
Yeah, they
Like
showed a
to
little bit of the map
understand more of it.
and a little bit of the inventory, and yeah, I want to explore that world above all else.
Before I commit to it, I really kind of just want to understand what I'm going to get into overall.
I mean, it's an open world game with robot dinosaur animals.
I mean, yeah.
I think like it doesn't go much past that. They showed like a demo teaser trailer kind of thing for Detroit Become Human.
Because there's no humans in Detroit.
There's no humans in Detroit. Which obviously it's weird because the last time we saw this was what, last Gamescom last year?
Paris Games Week.
Paris Games Week, yeah. Because they didn't do Gamescom last year. And it was with the female protagonist. Obviously, looks like there are multiple main characters, which makes sense. It's a very Quantic Dream thing to do.
Yep.
Seems like it's going to be like multiple stories. Like we already seen the Ada story from the old thing, but like it seems like we're going to do like multiple things, and like I guess that's an interesting take to it. They'll stick to one big story, just do like multiple stories, and just keep asking that question about like sentience being like humans or whatever that question is.
It was actually a really good way to show off a Quantic Dream game. Like, it went pretty quick. Like they introduced you to this character Connor, who's an AI, but like you see him in the elevator like fiddling with this coin, right? So that kind of attachment to an object, like for me as someone who loves psychology, it's like, oh, this indicates some level of personality, right? And that indicates some level of sentience. So like him doing that and then hiding it when he comes out and like being very stiff and android as he was when he comes out and talking to the people, and then showing like, hey, if you go up and just try and save him, like this is what happens. The worst case scenario kind of goes through. Remind me a lot of Life is Strange, actually. And then it rewind back and shows like all these different possibilities of like, oh, I found this evidence, or I brought a gun to this, or I convinced him to back down. And it showed it all very quickly in a easy to understand way of just like, oh, we're jumping between different possibilities, and it's kind of naming these like surrender possibility or like, worst case scenario or whatever. It was a good way to show just like this one little vertical slice of the game. No release date or any word on any of that for that game, so I imagine it's probably pretty far off. But yeah, it was cool. I thought that was
definitely look awesome.
It was a good way to show a Quantic Dream game. It looks like a Quantic Dream game. I like Quantic Dream games, so
I think they're cool.
I'm probably going to like this one, or at least appreciate what it's trying to do. But you get what you get with a Quantic Dream game, which is David Cage's sensibilities kind of all over it. Disappointing again that seems to be nowhere near us. I'm guessing at the earliest fall of next year, with not even like a word of release date. Then they were like, hey, we're going to show some VR stuff. The PSVR is coming out October 13th, which is the same day as Gears of War 4.
Mm-hmm.
They had obviously...
$199?
Yeah, they had announced price, back at GDC?
That sounds right.
That sounds right. GDC or PSX. So that was kind of a known quantity. 50 launch titles between launch and the end of the year.
That's okay, because you still need to buy a PlayStation Neo in order to even fucking use it. So
That's not even true.
really? I
Yeah.
thought that's what you
No,
know.
you can use it on current PlayStation 4.
They
systems.
specifically said, like, hey, this is a platform that 40 million people have that supports PlayStation VR.
Oh, I
Right.
didn't know that. I thought Neo was supposed to be for VR.
No.
I mean,
it's
it'll-
not coming out for a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's the thing they're not even talking about until next year. It sounds like. But I mean that's a whole other conversation. But no, VR was designed for the original PlayStation 4.
Well, that's just how out of the loop I am. So
Yeah, we gotta get maybe if you talk to your video game friends every now and again. Great.
Yeah. Come on, man.
But yeah, they showed some VR stuff. The Final Fantasy thing we talked about. Fucking Resident Evil 7.
Yeah,
That was the big one.
yeah. Alex was a whole lot of nope.
I was
during
like,
that one.
ooh, man, I would not want to play this scary fucking game in VR because I would pee myself.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, it was a little like I was getting real tense
Yeah,
watching
I
that
was
demo.
Too. I had to jump on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, jump scare the video game. Gotcha.
There was no jump scares in that demo, but like
No.
they were getting ready to.
Yeah, there was
Bad
the
They
shit
were
shit
was
amping it
happening.
up
through a
throughout the
doorway.
entire thing.
Yeah, that was tense. But it was good. It was a good demo.
If you like looking at a dirty room,
Oh, I like looking at a dirty room. There's nothing more. But yeah, Resident Evil 7. It sounds like it's January 24th. It sounds like it is playable on PlayStation VR entirely, as well as not in PlayStation VR.
I think my favorite comment from Twitter was, "Oh, Capcom remembered how to make a horror game
Yeah, right?
or a
Like,
Resident Evil game."
yeah, put you in a fucking dirty room. That's how you make a scary game, honestly. People were like, "Oh no, is this the kitchen demo from like the VR?" But no.
Yeah, you need pots of cockroaches and dirty rooms.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm very interested to see what that is. I'm probably not brave enough to play that in VR, but that's cool that that's a thing.
Good, that's an option.
Yes, that's like day one that'll be there. You can play the whole game with it, or you can play the whole game without it. That's awesome. That is like a great get for Sony.
Yeah, it's a sign of commitment.
Yeah, and like it's coming soon. It'll be in January, so it's not too far off. So that was one of the more reasonable things of like, oh, they announced this and it's coming out soon, and that's actually really exciting, and it's VR compatible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of other PlayStation VR stuff. The Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR missions.
That looks
Yeah.
cool.
That looks cool. I was like, ooh, I'm getting some like X-Wing TIE Fighter vibes from this.
Like, ooh, Star Wars.
Yeah, and like I just want to be in like PSVR when it does the hyperspace thing. Like that's really all I want. I don't care about anything else. Batman Arkham VR, which is like the GameSpot article I'm reading here. It says it's a Batman game coming to PSVR, but it seemed more like a quote unquote Batman experience. If you know what I'm saying.
The Batman game to end all Batman games.
It's being developed by Rocksteady, and it was a voice. Oh, I'm sorry, Tony.
It's cool.
Just ads playing on my computer and very loudly. It seems Mark Hamill is narrating it, so they got the man himself on there, the real Joker. So that's cool.
I mean, Rocksteady's doing it, and I guess you should expect some fucked up Scarecrow levels.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well when they were talking about it. Yeah, like if you can just like walk around Arkham, like the asylum with all the inmates in there, and maybe like they get loose or whatever. I don't know if you're necessarily Batman or if you're just some dude walking around Arkham. It's like kind of
And
like
then the Batman comes and he beats the shit out of you.
a walk around sim, and the Batman beats the shit out of first person Batman beating it. That would be terrifying. That's genuinely scary. But that'd be cool.
And you
Imagine-
feel it.
I like the idea of detective vision in VR.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That's cool. I'm a big fan of Rocksteady, and hopefully this is more of like a small thing. So they're working on something big for their next big thing. But who knows? Any other VR stuff that we missed?
I think we got it.
Probably a few other like
Plus 50 more titles.
50 more titles. The space, the one that was on Mars,
Oh, yeah.
the first person game. I don't.
Red Faction? No.
No, that's a different one though. I don't know. It looked cool. I thought it looked cool. Farpoint or something like that.
Farpoint.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So that that's cool. I'm into that. It just looks like a first-person shooter exploration game on an alien
is
planet.
cool.
Yeah, space is cool. Like it had a thriller vibe to it, and like I'm way down with the space thrillers, as I've noted in my reaction to Prey. So, yeah, I'm into it. That's a cool get for like launch day PSVR. It said October with it. It doesn't necessarily mean launch day, but who knows? Let's talk about fucking Spider-Man.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like a Spider-Man game.
So yeah, it was rumored that Sucker Punch was making Spider-Man.
Psych?
Is Insomniac making Spider-Man? interesting choice. But man, like they just showed you like running through like a building, like fighting dudes and swinging around, and it looked fucking awesome.
Looks super fun.
Look,
Yeah.
as long as it's Spider-Man 2, I don't care. As long as it's just Spider-Man 2.
I think it's not just Spider-Man 2. It
Well,
clearly
that's what I
isn't.
want. That's all I want. I just want the game to play like Spider-Man 2.
Well, I mean, like it looks like it would probably be open world.
And I'll
but-
be happy because I haven't played a Spider-Man game in a long time, and every one past Spider-Man 2 has been garbage.
Well, like my guess is this is Insomniac's A team, like their team that just got off of Sunset Overdrive, because obviously their North Carolina studios made Ratchet and Clank, which is now out, and they're probably moving on to another Ratchet and Clank game because that's the purgatory that they found themselves in, for better and for worse.
Forever.
But Insomniac's A team, they did Sunset Overdrive, and people were speculating if they would do Sunset Overdrive 2 or not. And this is the next thing we've heard out of Insomniac. So my guess is that this is their A team. And after doing Sunset Overdrive, like them doing Spider-Man, fucking makes so much sense. That's awesome. It looks really good too. Like I was like when people were like, "Oh, it's Sucker Punch," I'm like, "Yeah, Sucker Punch could probably do it." But then Insomniac, I'm like, "Ooh," and then I saw it. Whew, it looks good. I'm
Looks
very
good.
excited. It reminds me of the Tom Holland Spider-Man in appearance, which is good. It's a good thing. It's got the same eyes. Yeah, I know you haven't seen it, Tony, but it's got the. Anyway, Nabishin and Brand know what I'm talking about. Oh, Brand, Brand, you don't like superhero movies. I forgot.
No, but I like Spider-Man the character.
Yeah. Would you
And
get
that
that?
game
Would you
looked
play
fucking
this?
rad.
Yeah, this game did look fucking rad.
So, irregardless, it just looked like a fun game. It looked like, I get to shoot webs, I get to punch people. It looked fast. It looked
Yeah.
actiony,
Yeah.
cartoony, in a good way. Like, it's a superhero game.
Yeah. I'm down with like a good old-fashioned superhero game. Now, I know we're going to get big groan sigh shrug chagrin from Greg here. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was shown. I thought it looked really cool.
It did look cool.
I was like really surprised at how well it demoed because like there was so much new as opposed to like like whatever. I know people are like, this isn't the Call of Duty I want World 2. Like,
Whatever the fuck ever. That first like minute and a half before you even knew what it was, I knew you were like, oh wow, this is cool. And then it's like as soon as you see gameplay, it's like, oh well, it's called fucking Call of Duty.
yeah, right. Like I was
I
like,
knew it was
this is
Call of Duty the moment that fucking trailer started because she said Ramirez.
Reyes.
Reyes, whatever.
I don't know. It's like Reyes like a normally named Call of Duty. Is that like just a
Yes.
Call of Duty character? I don't know. I played more Call of Duty games than you at this point. I don't know any Reyes. Reyes. I don't know. I said like it's the most impressive Call of Duty demo since Modern Warfare 2, and I stand by that. Like that game hasn't like been a wow moment. There hasn't been a wow Call of Duty looks cool again moment in a Call of Duty demo since Modern Warfare 2. I don't think, and this had that for me at least. So sure as shit, no Ghost and fucking preview well. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it looked cool.
It looks like a cool shooter.
Yeah, grappling hooks
Space
in it.
continues to be really cool.
Yeah, like a lot of space, man. It's space and grappling hooks,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with both of these things. Crash Bandicoot's coming back.
Yeah, that's
What?
awesome.
No. Remastered Crash Bandicoot, and then we go right to Skylanders because fuck everybody else.
Well, I mean, like the remaster of Crash Bandicoot, and again, this is one of those pipe dream things. Like Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 are coming to PS4.
Which, awesome.
God knows when those will come out. God
I think
knows.
next year.
I'd hope next year. Depends on what studio's doing it. Like a weird, it's actually impossible for it to happen. But I would love to see Retro do Crash Bandicoot because, like, they did Donkey Kong Country Returns. I feel like they could do a good job. But Crash is in Skylanders, and Sony's.
They literally had to like bring it to the height point and then just smash everybody in the fucking face with a hammer.
Well, that was like the known thing that had leaked of like Crash is probably going to be in Skylanders.
I know, but nobody wanted to hear it.
Yeah, but that's the reality. Like, this is an avenue for them to bring Crash back, right? If
Yeah.
the remastered games do well, which I guess they should because people keep asking for this.
Yeah, I almost tweeted, like, if everybody doesn't buy this game, then you are just...
It's your fault.
Like, exactly. This is why they didn't do it in the first place.
Like, I I like Crash 2 and 3. I don't think Crash 1 holds up that well, but you know, whatever.
But have you played Crash 1 Remastered?
Yeah, exactly. Crash 1 Remastered might have checkpoints in it, so but like Crash 2 and 3 are great games. I think they're really cool because you have like these portals and you go to these separate worlds that it was made a little bit more sense than like the island to island stuff in Crash 1. So like I'm curious. And it's actually happening. They're bringing Crash. Like I said on the show that's going to go out tomorrow, like there's no fucking way the Crash comes back. Like I said that, but here we are. Again, Sony just aspiring to make people's dreams come true. I guess. Whatever. fucking Crash Bandicoot, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's like I tweeted, I'm like, no fucking way is this happening. And fucking Sean Layden comes walking out with Crash Bandicoot dancing as his shadow. And I'm like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Which, you know, you could have said about Final Fantasy VII last year. So I guess this is as close they're going to get to that moment.
For you?
For me, because that was the thing that surprised me the most. I actively had to disbelieve in Final Fantasy VII Remake because I didn't want to get hurt again. I'm glad they didn't talk about that game. Also, only because I know it's not coming out anytime soon.
Yep, it's gonna be a while.
I think the only thing we have left is the Kojima game.
Yeah, that looks.
Can we
real
talk
cool.
about that swag?
What Kojima coming out like with lighted platforms under his foot?
I tweeted out. I was like, "That's swag, though."
I mean, you gotta imagine that guy feels pretty good.
Yeah.
About where he's at now. You know, like we don't know what it was like in Konami, especially with the tension at the end. We don't know if it was actually like this terrible, oppressive atmosphere of zero creativity or like corporate overlords or whatever. We don't know if it was actually that bad, even though the public has made it out to be that bad. That Konami is this big evil villain, and they were definitely doing some messed up stuff as far as treating their employees. But like Kojima, man, as far as he can, as far as the public is concerned, he can like do no wrong.
Well,
Especially
considering the applause that he received from
dude, people
not too many
loved
game
it.
developers can walk on stage and make an entire
Exactly. He is a name that people who play games know, and that's very uncommon. But yeah, like I like the dude. He seems very charismatic.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm back. And he seems stoked, and he's making something fucking insane.
Right. Yeah.
So this is the thing. Like, yes, you're right, Namashin. Of like, I'm glad that like Kojima can say, "Hey, I'm making this thing, and here it is," and I can know that it's coming, even though I already knew that it's coming. The only like cool thing about this now that I know is that Norman Reedus is in it, and I want their bromance to live on forever. But I knew it was going to be something fucking crazy. It was great seeing it. But like the thing we talked about months ago in December was like, now that Kojima's out there doing his own thing, I can't wait for him to just do something brand new that's fucking insane. And that's exactly what he's doing.
Exactly what he's doing. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he had Norman Reedus holding a Norman fetus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus holding a Norman fetus, naked on a beach, looking at 5 figures hovering over like just dead whales on a beach.
Yeah.
See, here's the difference between Kojima and me. If I have a fever dream, I talk to a therapist. He makes a game. That's
video game.
That's the difference between Kojima and me.
Or he makes the opening to Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. What do you think of this, Nobishin?
I really don't have much of an opinion about it because I don't know what it is. But
Nobody knows what it is.
But it looks cool though. Like I don't know. Like I'm weird right now. Like I said, I feel like almost the opposite of you. Of what I feel the opposite of what we were feeling like an hour or two ago. So
we're now I'm more positive and now you're more negative.
It seems like it weirdly, and like I don't know why that is.
I think coming off of this, I think I ruined it for you. Is the truth. But I think
what did I inspire you?
I guess we are yin and yang now.
Literally and physically.
Yeah, mentally and physically. But like I think the thing is, I definitely need to sit on a lot of this stuff, right? Because like coming a couple days at the end of E3, we're gonna be sitting here like, well, when the fuck is Days Gone coming out? Well, when the fuck is what's it? not Resident Evil 7, Detroit. Like, when is that coming out? When are these games happening? When is God of War coming out? Did they say any date about that?
Nope.
No.
So, like, again, that's a whole lot of something with a whole lot of nothing right behind it. That's concerning. Like, I guess it's not concerning because they have 3 days of the actual event to talk about it, to demo it to people, and to tell, like, hey, here's where we're aiming for. Feels weird not to put that in the press conference, but we can wait a couple days and see where we're at. Like, I definitely need to sleep on this because it is. Sony did that thing of like, hey, we were gonna bring back fan favorites and show stuff like you quote unquote always wanted or never knew you wanted. We're like, and the reason I'm torn between Sony and Microsoft, both well done conferences, but Microsoft still feels more tangible to me. Right.
I mean, Microsoft is realistic and Sony's idealistic, but but Sony got what people excited.
Yeah, like Sony gets people jazzed, and like Microsoft got people jazzed as well this year, which is good. Whereas last year they just showed a bunch of cool stuff, and maybe like the presentation itself didn't get people's jazz. This year they nailed both aspects of it. So that's why I put it on Twitter. Like, I'm kind of torn between the two of them. They're both great, and like that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing, honestly. I think they both had great showings, and at least we know Sony has video games coming out. Like, they've got Farpoint and VR coming out in October. They've got Last Guardian in October. They've got Resident Evil 7 in January. So they have stuff in the pipeline that we can see that's tangible. So that makes it okay. Makes me excited. Then you look at, like, what, fucking Dead Stranding, whatever the Kojima game is called.
Death Stranding.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Death Stranded, I think, yeah.
Death
Fish
Stranded.
Simulator 2017.
Yeah. And Days Gone and Detroit, these all seem like things that are at the earliest late 2017.
And the Kojima game probably like 2020.
And like it sucks because Horizon looks great, but Horizon is now like kind of in No Man's Sky territory of like, okay, we've seen it, we know it, just put it out.
Yeah.
I just want to play it. So we don't need to see it again. It's coming out in February. It's 8 months away. Just let me wait. I'll play it. It's fine.
Yep.
It's interesting that they showed any Gran Turismo, I must say, considering they only showed that game
It
once.
was in the highlight reel at the end. But yeah, apparently Persona was in that highlight reel at the end as well.
It was.
It was. Yeah, there was a brief image of Igor.
Okay, does that count? Did I get a? Does that work as a prediction for me?
Not really.
Did I get points for that?
Nope.
Is that a quarter point?
Nope.
Trevor Starkey would give himself a quarter point on that. He's been doling out weird points on his predictions.
Well, you can give yourself a 1/10 point.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's it. We're not missing anything big outside of that. I have like a list of major stuff. I'm trying to see if I missed anything.
I think we got it all.
Yeah, that's Lego Star Wars 7.
Yeah, Lego Star Wars was a thing.
Somebody's excited
Downloaded
about
that demo.
Yeah, it's good for people who like Lego games.
You're just downloading all the demos for this weekend, aren't you? No,
That's what E3 is for, man. I don't even know what you're talking about.
yeah, I need to download the.
I downloaded fucking Halo
Halo
Wars 2. I'm never gonna play that, but I downloaded it anyway.
Yeah, I haven't cared about a Lego game in so long. I tried to play Lego The Hobbit with a friend of mine. I'm like, God, these games are boring.
Yeah.
Which I feel bad because I used to love them so much.
That's the wrong game, I feel.
Yeah, probably. Maybe if I got into like Marvel Avengers or something like that, that'd be.
That's the better one, I say.
Yeah, or like Lego Batman. Any of the Lego Batman.
Not the third one.
Not the third one. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I don't know. But no date on Spider-Man
Nope.
either.
They showed a lot of games, didn't announce a lot of games, and they didn't announce a lot of games that I wanted to see, which is sad.
What games would you have wanted them to announce outside of SOCOM? Because we both know that's a pipe dream. Sorry, Greg.
I knew DMC, but god damn it, do I want a new SOCOM game? I want some.
Yeah, I mean, like
I'll say it. Sony, you have it. You have the IP. Do something with it.
maybe
goddammit.
they'll give it to Ubisoft and it'll be one of their one more things one of these days.
Yeah.
This is Steep 2 and SOCOM.
Tom Clancy Snowcom.
Tom Clancy's SOCOM. That'd be a cool crossover.
You know,
branding.
I'd be down with it as long as it's something SOCOM. Just for the love of God.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, like across the board, Sony didn't really say a lot of dates, which is weird for them and worrisome for us. But yeah,
Yeah, they were quick to deliver dates on the things that they didn't have really good dates on last year.
yeah. So like the recurring stuff we saw, all the new stuff was very ambiguous.
Are you guys surprised that Kingdom Hearts didn't show up?
No.
No.
Not really.
Like with them putting out they put out a Kingdom Hearts trailer
Last
week, and it said,
Oh.
"Hey, Kingdom Hearts 3 info is going to be in winter," which probably means PSX.
Yeah.
So PSX.
So like they kind of addressed it ahead of the time, so makes sense. And the Kingdom Hearts game coming out this year got a soft date. So,
Is there any
Yeah.
games you would like them to announce, or would have liked them to announce,
I'm trying to think.
or just look through?
I mean, yeah, like I'm always curious as to what Sucker Punch is working on. They're like one of my favorite. They're probably my favorite Sony studio, even though like their more recent stuff, like Second Son, obviously has been across the whole spectrum with us throughout its existence. But like even if that was a little bit disappointing, I'm really excited for whatever they're working on next. Again, going into this, the assumption was it might be Spider-Man, but it wasn't. It was Insomniac that was doing that. So they're still out there working on something. No Dreams was shown, which is probably for the best. That would probably play better in Europe anyway, in Medium Molecules Home Turf. Even though it seems like that game is actually coming along into something. But yeah, I don't know. There's nothing outside of Sucker Punch. There's nothing that.
I don't know if I really have a game of the show. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
This ED didn't do like it got excitement, and I feel the excitement from other people and it reflected off of me. But like nothing really, nothing stands out per se.
Trevor Starkey quoted me in a tweet saying, "Sony just aspiring to make people's dreams come true." # broken dreams. Yeah, I mean, like you can announce all you want. I just like. It's gotten to the point where when Sony announces something, I don't get excited right off the bat anymore because like they announced Final Fantasy 15. It took 3 years for that to become a thing. And
Let me grab my inhaler.
yeah, let me grab my inhaler. Man, I cried for that Kingdom Hearts trailer. You know that? I cried. There's a video of that.
There is a video of that.
Like
I was there.
I almost feel like you're. I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand this mindset of yours. Now we're back to this again. So I'm like,
I'm excited about certain things. Like I don't know what's not coming across to you, Nabashin. Like I'm excited about certain things.
Sure.
And I'm skeptical of other things. And I'm toting this fine line. I'm excited. They did stuff. They made me feel excited. You know, I'm interested. I'm excited about Spider-Man. I'm excited about Detroit. I'm excited about God of War. I'm excited about all these things. But like it's a hesitant excitement because I'm gonna mute that if it's not gonna be out for fucking 3 years.
Okay.
And like that's where I'm at. Like I'm not gonna let myself get caught up in like, oh, Sony put on a great show and it was fantastic and blew everything out of the water if three of their huge set piece games like God of War and Days Gone and Spider-Man aren't out for 1 to 3 years. Right? That's not a good show in 2016 anymore. A good show is like saying Last Guardian is coming out this year. Fucking Resident Evil 7 is coming out early next year, but between this E3 and next, like it's more like
tangible dates,
like something more tangible in general. Like between now and E3 next year, you will have some of these games, and here's a preview of some of the other stuff.
Yeah,
In a perfect world, that is what Sony showed, but without even an idea of when Spider-Man and Detroit and Days Gone and God of War are coming out, like no dates, no years, no nothing. Like, you have to be critical of that.
I don't know, because like I think press conferences are just for announcing things, not really saying that something is happening. And it's like even though that EA is like fucking like dicking around with their shit, is like they announced Mass Effect because like, hey, you already know we're making another Mass Effect game, so hey, we're letting you know we're making the Mass Effect game, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, I see that side of it. It's just
because
like,
why be around the bush about it? Why dig around about something when you can give you at least an idea of what the game's going to be like? This is what we're trying to be. This is what we're trying to strive for.
yeah,
I hope you like this game.
I appreciate that, and like them showing more of these games is a better sign than like announcing it, showing a trailer, and then like not talking about it for 2 years, right? Them like sitting down and like, hey, we're going to show you gameplay of this game. That's better. Like that makes me feel better about it. But like it's partly keeping my expectations in check and like talking to the people like, hey, I know you're excited about this, but like it might not be out for 3 years. I'm not trying to take away your excitement. I'm trying to be fucking real with you. I'm trying to tell you what I think as someone who writes about this stuff and has opinions about this stuff. Like, you know, you're getting excited over something that is a far-flung dream that will be something someday, but isn't right now. And I'm spreading awareness, I guess, of that. Like, I'm not trying to be like a Debbie Downer. I'm very split on it. And that's why, like, I think we definitely need time to kind of ruminate on a lot of this stuff. So, like, who knows? Like, at the end of E3, maybe we'll have kind of more idea of what Sony's doing and why they're showing these games now. Because it is a bit of it is about timing and like, is this the right time to show this game? Like, you know, Colin Moriarty is always out there saying like, don't show a game if it's not ready to be shown. Or you're going to end up in the Star Wars situation that EA was in, where like they showed 3 games that aren't ready to be shown yet, or they were talking about them. And I'd rather you wait.
They didn't show anything. That's the difference.
Yeah, but like they did show visceral gameplay footage, right? They showed something. And they talked about it, and they're talking this big game.
And people are excited for that game.
And people are excited, but like, wouldn't it be better to hold that close to the chest and show it when it's ready and it's something tangible? I guess for me, it's fighting the intangible promises versus like the tangible, like here's gameplay. So again, that's why I think Sony did better this year, and I don't know where I'm at yet because I want to see what they say over the next 3 days.
Gameplay means it's coming out sooner. No gameplay means it's not going to come out for a while.
I mean, but that's
gameplay coming out means like, oh, you're going to do a fucking like resolution like downgrade, so no one takes that shit seriously anymore.
Yeah, but like that's not even true anymore because right, vertical slices are made for these press conferences and whatnot. But like I don't understand what you don't understand about what I'm saying. I'm just flowing my opinion out there. Oh Jesus!
Why are you trying to destroy everything?
And I'm flowing my cord out there, if you know what I'm saying.
With your Norman fetus?
My Norman fetus and his cut umbilical cord.
I guess it's more of like, I don't see why
you can't be. I can't be excited for these things.
No, like, because you are excited for these things. You have to get your inhaler. You're excited for them, but it's like, as soon as you get
my inhaler.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I mean, like you are excited for these things. Like, obviously, like, oh, okay, I'm interested. It's good. It's, like, it's great. Like, I'm really for that. And it's like almost the immediate, like, well, like, it's like more of like you can't let it like sit for a while. Like, take it for what it is. You have to like bring it down as soon as it comes out. And,
I think I have to do that because that's who I am. Like, I can't, like, I just can't get as excited about things as I used to. Like,
okay.
I can't let myself do that because I would get caught up in it, and then like my hyperbole would create like this is going to be great, and like I interpret this as this, and then like down the line I'm either disappointed or like my opinion changes so rapidly between now and then. So like it's exactly the Kingdom Hearts thing of like I was so overwhelmed and so excited, and here we are 3 years later.
But that excitement never left, though. It's still there.
It's still there. It's different now, and I think I'm trying to reach that different excitement quickly.
Because like there's a trailer like probably like what every once every 6 months or whatever, but it's like, oh yeah, great excited trailer. I remember that game. I'm excited for that game. Yeah. It's like it's no different from anything else.
And maybe Kingdom Hearts is different though because they can draw it out for as long as whatever. Just like stuff like Zelda, and it's like, yeah, or Persona is a better example. Like, yeah, no, delay it, whatever, take as long as you need. You showed me a cool trailer. I'm still excited. I guess like I make caveats for my favorite franchises, but this is a weird conversation.
It is. We're both hypocrites for whatever we're saying, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
really
I mean, like
we're humans. We make mistakes, so
I'm trying to be like less hypocritical, and I'm trying to meter my expectations.
Sure.
That's it. Bottom line.
Within this topic.
Yeah. I think is there any other? There's no other news. I don't think.
Not really.
Is there any other things anybody wants to touch on that they didn't get the chance to talk about for E3 in general? This is it until we record Saturday.
Didn't really have a game in the show, so that's
I don't like.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, it's like more difficult to choose. Like, soon, like the next thing I'm probably most looking forward to is Recore, because it's September. But yeah, I guess like as far as like it was good to see that game, and I'm excited about that game. It's kind of I'm starting to get a Ratchet and Clank vibe from that.
My game of the show, Overwatch.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. Brant, did you have anything you were most excited about?
Yeah, it is Zelda, but I'm also not going to watch any of it because I don't want it spoiled for me, so I'm in like a weird place.
Sorry, I'm going to ruin all of it for you this week.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We're gonna do Let's Plays this weekend, and it's all us just commentating over the Zelda footage.
That's good. That's just what I want.
Greg, anything stick out to you?
I think Ubisoft did a really good job this year. They showed a lot of games with tangible dates.
Yeah, and stuff that you were very excited about.
Oh yeah,
Wildlands.
Wildlands, actually, they showed off that very scripted gameplay, but really cool to see just kind of how everything planned out. And I think that could be a really fun tactical shooter to play with friends, as long as nobody goes,
Goes and like jerks off in the woods for 45 minutes, and you're like, "Where the fuck are you, Todd? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I know.
Todd.
He's a monster.
And
yeah.
For Honor showed really well. That cinematic trailer for that game, and plus the actual gameplay footage of it, made me really happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see like how For Honor turns out. Like I've heard such like weird thing. Like some people raving about it, some people saying it's bad.
Apparently, they went and changed some things in combat.
Yeah, some people that I know that have played it at PSX said like, yeah, this already looks different. Danny Juarez was talking about it.
But what I've heard even before that is like the developers talking like, yeah, we want to make this game as close as to real sword combat as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that's going to be, played out in the final result. Plus the multiplayer, from what they've shown, looks really, really fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to get a good read on that for me personally because it looks like something you should probably play to really understand like how that feels. It looks weighty, looks heavy, looks cool at the very least. Yeah, Recore for me, I think that's going to be it because that's just the next thing. It's very close, and I've been excited about it since they announced it last year. So
that's the game that has the Mega Man developer in it, or no?
Yeah, Inafune, but
Yeah.
more importantly, it has like people from Retro, the people that did the first Metroid Prime,
Okay.
which I'm a big fan. If you haven't heard, so yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, just overall really great showing. I think. Good conversations. I'm really impressed with Microsoft talking about Scorpio and doing it really well. I'm impressed with all the games they showed. I'm impressed with all the games Sony showed. That Bethesda had secrets and surprises, and Quake happened. Yeah. And
Okay,
all
enough
that.
PlayStation VR in the year?
I don't know. Like for me, like I want to get it as soon as it comes out, but it's going to come down to where my budget is at.
During this whole Scorpio thing, and probably the Neo maybe getting delayed, I would assume like now VR can go back into focus again, so they can market that properly again. So
Yeah, for sure. And like when we said like it seems like VR would be the better bet to push this fall for sure, and that's what they're doing. So yeah, Justin Graffius, our friend from Up, as Greg knows him. He's probably gonna get a VR, or he's got a VR pre-order, the whole bundle pack. He wants to get it, and he might come down from Pennsylvania and we record some video with that, and that might be a good place for me to test it out and see if I really want to sink the 400 into it, because I got to get the camera and everything too, which is separate from that $400 bundle. But I don't know. It's cool. I like VR a lot, and I want to get a VR device. So, Tony.
Yeah, seems cool. I don't know. I would definitely check out the PSVR.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a bunch of stupid videos.
Yeah,
it'll be here for Extra Life.
that's right.
So at the very least, all of us can have the chance to try it out then, except for Greg.
Yep. Sorry, Greg.
You should fly out for Extra Life, Greg.
I'll try. I'll see what I can do.
Okay. That's it for our E3 post shows. I'm sorry that Nabish and I were trying to pick apart my brain for part of this.
That's cool.
And the last.
No, it's about you and me. This is just two different opinions.
We're just growing together, Nabishin.
It's
You're
so
my
different.
yang, and I'm your yin.
That is so true.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about on Saturday when the kind of post E3, everything is done, everything's out, all the kind of announcements that happen on the showroom floor are out. If you have thoughts and feelings and questions and whatever, if you want to just spew about a press conference or whatever you want to talk to us about, you can leave us a voicemail at 404-590-1337. You can send us an email to mailsack@irrationalpassion.com, and you can also tweet at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ. We will read all of those or take all those and listen to all those on the show this Saturday. So please do that. Thank you so much for watching our post shows. I hope you enjoyed this. This was fun to do. A little bit organized. It was fun having some guests on. Thank you so much, Brand, for joining us.
It was a pleasure, of course.
And Brand, obviously you'll be here in my house Saturday.
I can't wait.
You're going to have to record with us. Or you could just sit next to me without a microphone and stare at me.
Yep.
Nope.
So Brant will be there. If you got questions for Brant Range,
Don't ask.
please
don't ask
Please
them.
ask him.
Don't tell.
You can ask him what his favorite Zelda game is.
You
And
can.
then him and I can start another podcast based on that conversation. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. For Tony, for Brant, for Greg, for Nobshin, I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. And we will catch you guys next week.